Welcome to my channel. This is Kelly. Today we are doing a busted canvas in honor of Friday the 13th. This image is reminiscent of a famous horror icon. However, it is just a random hockey mask. I designed the picture on Canva using the hockey mask. We can't have copyright on this channel. And the other two papers are from Etsy. You need an 8x10 stretch canvas and 8x10 canvas board to match. And we're going to take our image and Mod Podge it to the canvas board. This image will be revealed. I got a glue booger, sorry about that. And we get some Mod Podge at one end and press that down. And we keep adding Mod Podge and rolling it down until it's all in place. This is rice paper I get from Amazon. I printed this on just a regular inkjet. And we just keep on along. I use a thin coat with this rice paper, so I do a little at a time so it doesn't dry too fast. Press it on down. Slow going over here. Just keep on getting it. So let me know in the comments who is a horror movie fan. Of course, you don't have to be a horror movie fan to know who this represents, but this is a fun one. So once we get it glued down, we are going to trim the excess. And then we put our top coat of Mod Podge. Now, isn't that cool? It's nice and dry now. And now we're going to work on our stretch canvas. You see, I did paint the inside of the frame a brown color. You do not have to do that. The natural wood looks just fine. I just like to do that sometimes. And we get our Mod Podge over the entire thing. We've already cut this paper to fit. It's a little big, and I'm just tucking the excess underneath that frame, and that's fine as long as it lays flat. So, and we put our top coat of Mod Podge, and you see I'm getting the Mod Podge under the frame there. When you put the layer of Mod Podge on it before you put the paper on, you want to get it under there so that if you do have a little excess to tuck in, it will glue it down. So that's all done, and we do the inside first so we can continue working on the outside while it's still wet, or you can let it dry and come back to it, obviously, if you like. So you still got to be careful not to get your fingers under there into the wet Mod Podge. Now, when you're doing the top piece, this is going to be the frame, it's just the outside edges will show because we cut the canvas in the center. Now this print's going to be barely covering the top of the canvas, and you want it to kind of overlap down the sides. So I got some scrap and did the edge because it wasn't coming over as much as I wanted it to. And then we're going to just start on this edge and glue it down. Now that's not going to show. We end up wrapping that with some jute around the outside to kind of frame it. But you do want the image to go over the side at least a little, even if it's just a tiny bit. And we're going to go around and glue down the sides that do overlap. And over here you'll see we're going to do kind of like when you're wrapping a present. You have it overlapping on both sides of that corner, and you just bring that down like that and fold it over. It's like wrapping a present, and you go all the way around the sides and do that. And you can paint around the outside of these if you want, which I've done. It looks nice, but it's kind of a pain. So you can use ribbon or whatever, but with this I didn't want to use crocheted ribbon like I usually do because this is a It's creepy Friday the 13th. We don't want it frilly now. That would be crazy. So you'll see I end up using jute twine. And we're just going to press that down. And then once we get it all down, we put our top coat on the sides and then our top coat of Mod Podge on the front. And I usually let this dry overnight. It's wet on both sides. It takes a while. So here we're all dry. Now I start out with this utility knife, but it turns out to be a little too dull, so I end up switching up. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut an X from the bottom side, and then we're going to come down from either side again and cut it again. Now I've already cut that, but I struggle with it because of that one knife, so I'm going to show you from the other direction. And I just eyeball it because you can't really get a straight edge down inside there, so you just take your time. And if it's not perfect, you're not going to know once it's all said and done. Just as straight as you can get it is fine. And we come from this side into the center. And then from the other side to the center. Whoa. Got a little hairy for a second there. And we end up cutting it a total of 6 times. So now it's all cut. Here comes the fun part, when you get to see how your picture reveals through the back. These are a lot of fun to do. They really are. I enjoy it. And this rice paper with the Mod Podge on both sides turns into kind of a leathery texture. And you can train it in place. You'll see that in just a minute. So now we're going to line it up with the back piece. Now look how cool and creepy that is. Love it, love it, love it. And I just take a Sharpie, it's nice and round, to start curling my cut flaps. And I just curl it on down. I just lay my hand on it to kind of hold it in place. And get the one next to it curled down. Now I've seen people glue them down, but the hot glue doesn't stick. And I've seen someone use tacks, and you can do something like that if you like, but if you work it and keep on working it, it will train in place. And I wouldn't hang it like in the bathroom or outside anywhere, because the humidity will definitely make it uncurl, but if you can retrain it if it does. I had one get mashed flat pretty bad one time. I'm like, oh no. Well, I used my heat gun, or you can use a hair dryer. I used my heat gun to apply heat and then retrained it, and it came right back to life. So if you ever make one of these and something happens to it, it's fixable unless it gets ripped. Now that I'm not sure what to do, and you see I'm just keep working the curls. We're going to continue around and curl them up. See, they're staying in place. The two ends are staying in place now. But you just keep rolling them and tucking them, tightening and messing with them, and they will go in place. Oh, look how creepy. Love it. Gotta love it. So now we're going to glue the two canvases together, and I like to use Type Bond Quick and Thick. Tacky glue would also work pretty well. And we're just going to put it around the underside frame of the stretched canvas piece. And just take my finger to kind of make sure there's not a big blob that might ooze out. If it oozes out the outside, that's no big deal. You can wipe it off, but make sure it's not going to ooze out into the inside, because it's hard to get to clean that up. So we just spread it around. And the good thing about this Thick and Quick is it's sticky. It holds it in place long enough. It's not sliding all around like sometimes if you're using a regular school glue, it's going to slide all around forever. Trying to get the clamps on, it'll fight you. This holds it in place where you don't have that problem. You have time to move it around and adjust it, but it's not, you're not chasing it all over the place. You know. So lay it as accurately as possible and stand it up, line it all up. And we're going to clamp it. All these clamps came from Dollar Tree and they're great. Now when you put these on, make sure you stay on the wooden frame portion. So if you go too far in, it could mash it up on the inside there. So I put it on all four corners first. But yeah, these work perfect because the little feet are like exactly the width of the frame on these, so they work perfectly. I think it was, I can't remember, was it 2 of these or 4 of these in a pack for $1.25? But yeah, they work well, and they're easy to manage. You're not fighting with them. They're very easy. And the Quick and Thick recommends waiting or clamping for about an hour. I usually let them go for about an hour and a half, and then I'll come back and just unclamp them, and that's it. So once this sits and dries for an hour and a half, it's ready to go. And here I'm using tacky glue and jute twine. I just spread the tacky glue around it and started wrapping it, and that's it. She's done. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like and consider subscribing. It would really help my channel grow. I'm just starting out here, so give me a little help. I'd appreciate it. Come back and see me again, if you dare.